Hello and welcome everyone. We are the Untold Stories Project, and tonight we present a brand new episode of Born of Rage, our Werewolf the Apocalypse game set in White Wolf's World of Darkness. My name is Jonesy, and I will be your storyteller this evening. As a quick note for those unfamiliar with the World of Darkness, this is a horror setting where the players take on the roles of monsters, in our case, werewolves, but are known as Guru to their society. Uh, Quick note about the content of the stream. This is a horror role-playing game, which means the players may engage in adult language and content at times. Along with that, they will encounter scenes of graphic violence and may encounter NPCs who use offensive language. This season, the story does deal with the Valkyrie Foundation, and the topics of mental health and trauma will arise. If those are topics you're uncomfortable with, we totally understand. We encourage you to please check out one of our other great streams or podcasts that we have instead. With that being said, I'd like to welcome the pact and ask them to introduce themselves and tell everyone their name, who they're playing, and a little bit about their character.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alex, and once again, I will be playing the part of Darren Schaefer, who is the Geta Fenris Arun, former New York City homicide detective turned Shepherd of Lost Souls, and Alpha of the Trail Mix Pack.
That's one way to describe him. um, hey everyone, I'm Aaron. I will be playing Kennedy, Blood on the Dance Floor, Donovan. She is a Fianna Galliard, Hamid-born. Once upon a time was a aspiring Irish dance champion. Now she's just a very, very angry girl.
Hey everybody, I'm playing Killian Jackson. I am a Ragabash Glasswalker, and currently I am trying to tiptoe around this delicate relationship I have with my packmates.
Hey, hi everybody. I am Drew, and tonight I will be playing Dell Speak Softly, Wolfborn, which I guess makes him a were-dude, a lupus theurge of the Children of Gaia. Dell is the go-to guy for the spirit realm, a highly sensitive person who is currently all by himself off in the woods somewhere.
We're looking for you.
Perfectly rational behavior for a horror setting. I'm so happy.
I'll be right back.
I mean, we're going to look
sex.
for you.
So thank you, everyone. Thanks my pack members for introducing themselves, and thank you for those people tuning in. The Untold Stories Project is a small group of friends who, like to stream games. Our goal is to kind of stream games that don't get as much love or Twitch time as some of the others. To that end, if you like what we do, we would encourage you to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends and all about the stuff we run, because the more people who tune in and let us, to join us, makes it a better community and also helps us spread these awesome games and makes it easier for us to make more of them, streams using these games. So, to that end, we'll jump on in with a quick recap. I'll give the pack members a chance. If anyone wants to do a recap, I'll do it. But does anyone want to do a recap tonight?
I think it's Dell's turn to do the recap.
It is Dell's turn.
Go, Dell, go.
And he just completely went out of view.
The reason why I always sat in the back of the class.
No worries. Our pack is currently working for the Valkenburg Foundation in the role of the questing pack. So the Valkenburg Foundation is a facility run by a kinfolk by the name of Gretchen Valkenburg and several other guru who basically take in guru, whether lupus-born, Hamid-born, or Metis-born, who have gone through traumatic events and have not adjusted well to life as a guru, and do their best to attempt to help them. At least that's what the pack believes. They're starting to question that after last week's revelation. recently, the Valkyberg facility had been assaulted by a pack of black spiral dancers, which are the worm tribe, a tribe that's dedicated to the worm, which opposed the Guru. As part of that, they kind of were on high alert. There was a patient at the Valkyberg Foundation who has had committed suicide. There was a staff member who they found dead, as the initial thought was as part of the raid by the Black Spiral Dancers, but it turned out to be not the case. And then they began snooping around after they encountered Victor Helms, one of the current admins of the Valkyber Foundation, also sneaking around late at night, and uncovered a secret room in the basement that was a currently functional operation chamber with lots of silver scalpels and knives and blood stains on these white ceramic floors, which kind of set a couple of the pack members off, as I recall.
That was a very nice description for a torture chamber, Jonesy.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an operating chamber.
Unit 751. Yeah. Don't Google it.
To that point, two of the pack members entered frenzy. One into a fox frenzy and one into a fight frenzy, leading Dell to hightail it out of the building and off the grounds and deep into the woods. And
He
Kennedy
knows where he is.
and Kennedy deep into a rage-filled frenzy where she was talked down out of her rage by her pack member, but not before doing some significant damage to the room.
I'm just glad that I didn't end up doing significant damage to my pack leader. So.
No, I could use a new scar. I haven't gotten one in a while.
So, to that end, the last thing we saw was the pack kind of regrouping. The three of them that were still in the Falconberg Foundation kind of regrouping, and then noticing that there's a strange visitor down the long narrow drive that leads to the Valkyrie Foundation. But I believe it's a possible friend of Kennedy's.
That's one way to put it.
Anything I missed, team?
Am I there? I don't think I'm there. I think I'm back at the house with Victor.
Yeah, I thought it was just Killian and me who went off looking for Dell, and that's where we found her.
Yeah, Killian kind of had to talk you down in the RV after from the aftermath of the etc.
Yeah, and technically the two of you are outside of the Valkyrie Foundation, just a little bit, just outside the RV, so not far. The pack is currently using an RV as their base camp, parked in front of the Valkyrie Foundation, because they didn't trust the well-appointed rooms that were available to them.
Oh, is that what?
Good choice. Turns
I came
out.
after that. I came way after that.
Yeah, the pack was being paranoid.
And apparently we were right to be.
How now?
So
far, it's only the patients that are getting carved up like turducken.
And so, Darren, you are not with them specifically, but you are right there in the Mountain Foundation. So you're inside the building with Victor. So you're not far off. So.
Right. So, we see the woman who threw a dagger at my feet, right?
Yes, down the end of the lane. It's late at night, very late at night, to the point where it's the horizon is starting to get like the slightest hints of purples and blues and pinks from the soon to be sunrise. And down the end of the there's a long road that leads from the Valkyberg ranch home to the actual main road. There's one long driveway. It's tree lined, and down of that gravel driveway, you see what appears to be, at least from where you're standing, to be a woman wearing the same jacket and clothing that you saw earlier, who you recognized as a black spiral dancer.
Okay. Well, I'm in lupus form because I said that when I emerged from the RV, I was not coming out in Hamid form. So my reaction to seeing her is I'm going to howl. To get Darren's butt out here.
Oh boy.
And yeah, so I'm giving out a loud howl to yo. I don't need to use my Call of the Wild gift, but I probably am. Which, heck, maybe that'll call Dell back. Too.
Kennedy is fundamentally fed up with tonight.
Kennedy is kind of done with,
Yeah.
well, yes. So,
Yeah.
with 4 successes on my Call of the Wild, I can be heard 16 times further away than I normally would be able to be heard.
Dang.
So with that, you do know. Cut to Dell briefly. Dell, yeah, you were in the chamber. You freaked. You ran, and you just was like, survive, survive, survive. Get away from danger. Get away.
Yes.
And so you quickly bolted out of the Valkyrie Formation and bolted off the grounds and deep into the woods. And you probably ran for quite a while, going full tilt.
Yeah.
Until you finally got to a kind of a overgrown and deep section of the woods, because you are in the wilds of Wyoming. So there is a couple national forests and stuff nearby. So there's a lot of actually deep woods out here. While out there, you did start hearing howls from what you suspect is a nearby pack of black sprout dancers. And so we were right back on our nerves when you do hear off to the distance Kennedy's call. Gather the pack, or basically gather the pack. So, but at this point, you have slipped out of your fox frenzy, and you are in control of your faculties again.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so I'm hearing howls from these. Okay. Well, I had better go and regroup as well. I'm going to head back toward the Foundation. Not inside, but toward. Yeah.
Inside the Foundation, obviously, Darren, you were in Victor Helms, the rather uptight, quote unquote glasswalker, is we're hanging out in the basement, finalizing that and closing the door and making sure that at least from an initial cosmetic view, you couldn't tell that you trashed the room. When you hear Kennedy's howl go off out front.
All right, Victor, I'm gonna go figure out what that's about. You don't move against anybody until we have a chance to coordinate.
Well, I'll take that under advisement.
Wasn't a request. And I'll take off to go see what's up with Kennedy and her girlfriend.
So.
No, my girlfriend is off running around with the other Silent Striders.
So, with that,
yeah, I'll start approaching her, still in lupus form, growling softly. Hopefully Killian is backing me up, but honestly, I'm not really checking.
I'm tracing her with my Glock, don't worry.
she is currently in a hobbit form.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely tracing her with my Glock.
So, she is currently in hobbit form, and she, well, she's interesting in a very big hair '90s kind of way. Um,
It was a dark time.
yes. But currently, as you start getting closer, you can see she has long, kind of wavy black hair, very tight waves. She is currently dressed in what looks like jeans, a kind of oversized jacket, and boots and the like. And she does have a dagger, a couple of more daggers uh, on a sheath on her belt, but she is in helmet form. Uh, as you approach, you don't see any telltale signs of any sort of abnormalities that you may find with some other Black Spiral Lancers.
Okay.
Given their nature of hanging around radioactive hives where they where they make their homes and seps and the like, they tend to do suffer from some sort of metis deformities based on just their genetics and well, lots of corruption. So,
You sure about this, kid?
About what?
I don't know. She doesn't look too bad. If you don't want her, I might ask.
You can hear my eyes.
Killian, as you get closer,
I don't like that follow up.
I will
Let us talk
point.
about anything else.
I will point out she is rather attractive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the hairspray made me turn my head, but my eyes got me locked on.
But the shoulder pads.
Oh, baby. Shoulder pad. She don't need no man, but I won't be here too long.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm approaching her, but like I said, growling softly.
Yeah, and as you're approaching, she does put out both hands a little bit in front of her and down a little bit with palms facing up to show she's not holding any weapons.
There you go. At least you know she puts out.
Why am I full?
Don't help!
I'm so sorry. I will stop that now.
It's funny because Dell plays my conscience and his character.
Yeah, I'm not shifting. I'm staying in lupus form, but when I'm close enough that it's conversation and not yelling, I will just say, "You're either brave or you're very foolish. What brings you back here?"
I come bringing a message from my alpha.
All right. Is it something that I can hear, or do you need our alpha to come out to hear it himself? I think he's on his way.
And as almost on cue, Darren, you have exited the Valkenburg, the front steps of the Valkenburg Foundation, and you can looking down the road. You see your two pack mates approaching a woman that you do not recognize.
I'll come forward.
Well, the message is for your pack, so I mean, if you want to wait for him, that's something I understand.
You guys out here talking to Brett Michaels? Who is this?
Darren, this woman has a message for our pack.
I'm listening.
We have a common enemy, and my alpha wishes to speak with you to make an accord so we can dispatch this enemy.
Didn't know your kind were into making negotiations with people who were still alive. Who's this enemy?
And the entire time she's talking to you, Darren, but she's watching Kennedy. Um, uh, that is for my alpha to speak of.
Where does he want to meet us?
Tomorrow night, there's a clearing about an hour's run from here to the north.
Yeah, I would rather meet in a neutral zone instead of a place that you all have picked out. Maybe I'm paranoid.
Well, we picked that spot because it is a neutral place. Unlike this abomination. And she kind of like gestures towards the Valkenburg Foundation.
It's cute of a black spiral dancer to talk about abominations. We'll hear out your alpha.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
We will hear out your alpha.
And we come with this offer under the Gaia and the grace of Gaia, so we would not break this accord. And she's looking at Kennedy the entire time.
We'll come to talk, not to fight.
Tomorrow night, an hour after moonrise.
Very well. What do you think, Kennedy? Is it a date?
We'll be there. And Kennedy is also not turning back to look at Darren. She is still looking at this woman. But
And as Darren made that comment about is it a date, she was really everyone, no question asked, everyone picked up on the fact she was staring intently at Kennedy to look for her reaction, and she almost looks a little crestfallen when Kennedy responds the way she does.
All of a sudden, the 8-track player in the RV starts playing Dreamer. Who did that?
I figured that was not saying it wasn't a date.
and she tomorrow night then she turns and walks off.
But is this like a date?
Darren, you're my alpha, but if you think I won't bite your throat out.
Glad you keep me on my toes, Kennedy. There's no more get around to keep me accountable. As for the house, I told Victor not to bother anybody until we had a chance to discuss. So I think we should adjourn to the RV to drive up the road a little ways and find a Denny's or a Waffle House or something and find somewhere quiet we can talk about this.
Shouldn't we find Dell first?
Probably be a good idea.
Oh, is he not here?
It was in fact
No,
not
we
there.
were on our way to go look for him when we found her.
Darren, the wolf was Kennedy. Like, we don't all look the same.
Look, alright, there's a siren song from a Waffle House calling me. I need some hash browns chunked and covered. So, like, hurry up.
I'm not saying no, I'm just saying we should maybe find our package first.
Alright, you guys go find him. I'm gonna go get the RV.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So yeah, the two of you are able to go and meet Dell on his way back to the Valkenburg Foundation, and the group is able to regroup. Now, when you say you're gonna go off to Denny's, is that you're all gonna go off to Denny's, or is it just the pack, or are you gonna drag?
Just the
Victor
pack. No, I don't think Victor Helms likes cheap food. That's why you can't trust him.
Well, and I think the pack needs to figure out where we're standing vis-a-vis, well, everything
So we're going to do
before
that in
we
a
bring.
Waffle House.
Waffle House. the Denny's of the World of Darkness.
Oh, I know that.
Waffle House is not of the worm. Denny's is of the worm.
Uh,
Waffle House does good charity work. Don't you begrudge.
I'm not mad at. No, I'm never mad at Waffle.
They just sent me this $25 gift card for the stream. And,
It's about the only place I'll order eggs out, man. Anywhere else, like, forget it. Waffle House, their egg game is tight. I don't know what that was.
Okay.
Sponsor us, Waffle House, please.
All right. Yes. So we will find Dell, and Kennedy will give him the 30-second recap version
Oh.
of we've been approached by one of the Black Spiral dancers. Their pack wants to speak with our pack, saying that we have a common enemy and referring to the Valkenburg Foundation as an abomination. And Darren wants just the pack to go have a talk someplace that I would say you'll love it, but you probably won't.
Oh.
But they'll at least give you some meat to eat.
We're not going to McDonald's. He's not going to love it.
And if we haven't introduced you to coffee yet, then well,
This is one of those clothing places, isn't it?
it is. But we're going to go in the RV, so there's clothing for you in there.
It depends. What time is it?
Almost sunrise.
Oh, yeah, you don't need that much clothes.
Well, just hoping we don't get there before actual sunrise.
All right. Yeah. So. Off we go.
And you quickly jump in the RV, and you drive for a little while, and get to a small town, and there you find a Waffle House.
Yes. Beautiful.
We picked up a new sponsor this week.
I'll park the RV out front, and I'll go snag us a table.
And yeah, they're able to they're able to give you a small booth over in the corner, so you're basically, not in earshot of everyone else.
What's my favorite part about talking here?
What's
Is
that?
no matter what we say, people already assume we're crazy for eating at the Waffle House.
Yeah.
So there's no veil breach here ever.
I was initially just like, wow, Dell's going to be acting really suspicious and jumping, and I realized, no, it's early morning at a Waffle House. They've seen worse.
We can say werewolf in here as much as we want. It's great.
Every Waffle House is an Elysium. It's true story.
It kind of is. Oh my god.
It's the pack of kindred, 2 tables down from the LARPers. No one can tell the difference.
Right. Seriously.
So yeah, the pack's all there. What did you want to? What did the pack want to focus on in confab?
Well, I'm ordering an omelet and hash browns and a black coffee, and we're gonna chat about what we discovered tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Looks like there's a torture chamber in our headquarters.
No,
Yep.
torture chamber next to our headquarters. We don't sleep in there.
You're right. The RV
Well-
is our headquarters.
Right, but we are sort of working for the Valkenburg Foundation. We've accepted the role of their questing pack, so one way or another, we're tied to them, at least for now.
Yeah, we need to figure out what's going on, who's responsible, and if they've been experimenting on the people that we've been saving.
We also need to address the whole Black Spiral issue.
Yeah, that's a post-coffee conversation.
Honestly, I don't even think it's the weirdest thing out of everything.
Well, all right. And Kennedy is having coffee and adding whiskey to it from a flask that she carries with her.
There's Irish coffee.
Right. If I hate to say it, but they may not be wrong to call the place an abomination if there's torture going on in there.
Yeah, they might not be, and that's not a comforting thought that we might be on the same side as these black spiral dancers.
Well, the enemy of my enemy is not necessarily my friend, but
I'm curious if their alpha has any evidence of what's going on, or if he has any more information.
I mean, I think it's worth talking to them. I honestly do, as much as I hate to even consider it. But
We'll hear them out, at least. Do we want to stay away from the Foundation until we're done talking to them?
I feel like we have to at least go back briefly and at least make an excuse for why we're not going to be around.
Well, I'm open to ideas. What do you all think?
I think
I mean-
we can just leave.
We could, if nothing else, if we want to make sure that Victor doesn't go off and do something stupid, we can just go and say that we're following a lead and it's not something that we feel comfortable discussing until we've checked it out, and that we'll be back not, tomorrow, not, after tonight.
Okay.
But I feel like we have to provide at least some explanation. And we need to tell Victor, like I said, to make sure he doesn't go off and do something idiotic while we're gone.
Yeah, he seemed like that was what he wanted to do.
If we want to not be back there, we can tell Victor, and Victor could give that message. Which is, I mean, whatever excuse you're wanting to make for us to not be there, Victor can deliver it to Gretchen.
That's true. We don't have to go back to do it.
We could just text him and tell him to tell Gretchen we're still chasing the black spiral dancers. And that will be home after the hunt.
I don't
I mean-
know if this matters, but I saw Victor trying to use takedown on Kennedy when she was freaking out. That's not very glasswalkery of a thing. Not yet, at least.
Someone who speaks Guru, translate that for me.
It's a gift that isn't normally associated with the Glasswalkers. Although, to be fair, it's not like we can't learn gifts that aren't native to our tribe. It's just a little harder to convince the spirits to do it for us.
What kind of spirit would teach that gift?
Yeah.
Get the feeling you're asking me, but that's not no spirits that I've met so far.
I'm just saying, if he's a Shadow Lord out here, what does he want with the Valkenberg Foundation? At least an IT guy makes sense to keep track of records. And that's what he's pretending to be for now.
What do Shadow Lords want?
What do Shadow Lords want that Black Spiral Dancers also want?
I mean, look, it's certainly easy to assume that all Shadow Lords are secretly conniving for something, but they're also just secretive. They might not be doing anything other than trying to get information about the Valkenberg without tipping their hand. Plus, there's the fact that just the idea that he might be a Shadow Lord is making all of us immediately say, oh, we don't trust him. So maybe their inclination wouldn't be to tell people they're a Shadow Lord. I mean, I suppose it's kind of one of those self-fulfilling prophecy things of, I'm not going to tell you I'm a Shadow Lord, because then if I do, you're not going to trust me. But then if you discover that I'm actually a Shadow Lord, you definitely don't trust me. But
So what you're telling me is that they need PR people in the Shadow Lord tribe.
Maybe your tribe name shouldn't start with Shadow, as in the dark.
Or Lord. Lord's not a good word either.
No.
I mean,
It's a fine word. It's not good in the context of a group activity like being a guru is, but
we have an alpha. It's not like we're opposed to hierarchies.
Yeah,
Sure.
but like I'm not your lord. Like,
No, but a couple hundred years ago, we might have used that word. A couple hundred years ago, you might have been a lord.
And with that, you actually have a slight memory in the back of your mind that tickles up that of you as a German medieval soldier fighting alongside a Black Fury against a Roman abomination known as the Butcher.
with the face of Orson.
Then to punctuate the moment, Dell orders coffee and an all-star special with hash browns, scattered, smothered, covered, chunked, capped, peppered, and diced.
Aye, coming right up.
And a chocolate chip waffle.
Why didn't you say we were coming to Waffle?
I did say we were coming to Waffle House.
I wasn't there.
Oh. Dell, you're always there.
No, you're right.
I'm really
I
not.
said, I assumed that you wouldn't have been in a Waffle House before. Perhaps
I just
that
like
was-
the idea. I just like the idea that, like, okay, yes, he is Wolfborn, but I mean, come on, you know, he's been around people. If nothing else, he's been around enough powwows. He knows what coffee is.
So, we know what we're going to tell the Foundation. We're going to hear out the Black Spiral Dancers. Victor is the wild card in all this. I don't know what he wants. Do you think the Shadow Lords would be as upset about the healing that Valkenburg's supposed to be providing Garou? The same way most Garou would be?
I mean, they're going to. They're pretty big on the whole part of the litany of suffer not the sick,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It seems. I don't know. At the same time, they're also among the most pragmatic of all of us, and if we are in the end times, we need all the Garou that we can possibly get. If we can heal a Garou, that's another soldier for Gaia, and right now I think we need all of them. So I don't know. Besides, Shadow Lords are kind of like anything else of, you know, if you've met one Shadow Lord, you've met one Shadow Lord.
What was that business about your lady caller saying that she was coming on the behalf of Gaia or whatever?
I don't know.
That's weird for the Spiral, isn't it?
Yes. On the other hand, I don't know, whatever horrible thing is happening here, maybe it's not of the worm. I mean, there are terrible things in this world that aren't of the worm.
Well, just because something is of the worm does not mean it would not necessarily oppose something else that was aligned with worm.
Again, back to that whole enemy of my enemy is my friend is not necessarily my friend.
Yes.
This is starting to make me want to do Plan H. Plan H. We just torch the place, blame it on the dancers, go home.
I'm not okay with that either.
Big old wide net, cover all of our bases.
Fake our own deaths. Drive the RV into the Valkenburg Foundation. Set it on fire.
All right, look,
I would.
we agreed to help the Valkenburg Foundation because we agreed with their mission, right?
Yes.
So maybe there is something nefarious going on here, but that doesn't mean everything at the Valkenburg Foundation is nefarious. I think we need to at least figure it out before we just burn the whole thing to the ground.
I think we might need to metaphorically burn it into the ground. What if we just get everybody in the room and just try to confront them, and we'll take it from there?
I'm not opposed, but I think we talk to the spirals first. Oh my god, did I just say that?
Okay.
I think you're
that
right,
sounded
though.
like a plan.
I think that is our plan.
Okay. So was there anything else that you wanted to accomplish at the Waffle House, other than coffee refills?
No, I think our next steps are text Victor, drive the RV somewhere, and get some rest because we've all clearly not slept tonight.
I guess I do need to ask about the timing of things. Like, at what point is the sun going to be rising? Has it risen by the time we get there, or am I going to have to like go out back and howl and hum it for him? Which again, Waffle House, you know. They won't
Yeah,
care.
it wouldn't be the weirdest thing.
They won't care.
We've got you covered, Del. That's why we came
That's
here.
basically it. I kind of want to know for my headcanon more than anything else. That would be fun.
So you'll be finishing breakfast in time that basically depends on how fast and if you want to book it. Basically, your pack mates at this point know that you like to howl at the sunrise. So
Well,
depends on how fast they want to pay the check and or if they're okay with you just going out behind the Waffle House and greeting the sun.
I'm cool with him doing it. I kind of want to sit here and just eat for a little while.
Yeah, I say honestly, I don't think I am out of fucks to give.
Yeah, I've
No,
got
you can
unlimited
actually
sweet
walk through
tea.
the counter.
yeah. I mean, I don't think I have to actually be in Olympus for him to greet the sun, so that's just kind of fun. It's gonna be weird, but you know, needs must.
It's not the weirdest thing Dell's ever done. So
No, it's not. And again, it's probably not the weirdest thing the waitresses, the wait staff there have heard all night. So.
well, and as a reminder, this is a small town not far from the Valkenburg Foundation, which also means it's not far from the Sept of the Pure Heart.
Yeah, so they hear. I mean, like, these are noises that you would typically hear in that area anyway.
So random weird stuff in a small town, not far from a werewolf sept, may not be that unusual for them.
Fair.
Actually, honestly, he goes back there and there's like two other guys who aren't actually Guru, but they're doing it anyway. They're still just howling. You know, he has to join a queue. Excuse me, I'm in a mood tonight. I'm sorry.
All good.
So so yeah, so you're gonna be texting Victor and give him the cover story, and with that, yeah, you're able to drive off, and after you finish your meal and all that stuff, you're able to drive off and find a nice spot to park the RV and get some sleep because it's been rather non-stop since you've been back. Because all this has happened in rather rapid succession since you've come back from the Northwest National Laboratory.
Yeah.
Very true, actually. Yeah.
The other thing that I would like to do is I feel like we should. I'd like to try to find this clearing at some point during the day. Like, I don't want to be there ahead of the time that we're supposed to meet, because I feel like that's saying, I mean, they know we don't trust them, but I feel like that's saying openly we don't trust you and we're here for a fight.
I feel like we
But
should
I
at
would still
least
like to
take a
meet.
look.
Exactly.
I don't like the idea of going into any place that they've chosen with enough time to prepare that we haven't had a chance to scope out.
I mean,
Exactly.
is this a place that Dill would know? I mean, they're talking about this. They're talking about, well, there's a clearing about an hour's run to the north of here. It makes it sound like a fairly, like it would be. Is this just someplace that
Sounds local.
I would know where it is? Like it doesn't sound.
Yeah,
or-
yeah. Actually, since you are a local and you actually grew up in the around the sept of the Pure Heart, which is the local sept, yeah.
Right.
I would just say that based on your conversation and they telling you that you have a pretty good inkling about what clearing they're referring to.
Yeah. So I'm assuming it is as neutral as Dell did not hear them say it was, but that it is. You know. Yeah. Oh.
Honestly, the clearing. I mean, it is neutral. I mean, it's no one's territory. It's obvious. It's definitely not Black Spiral territory. But the clearing itself is mostly clearing because of a blight that ran through the area. So the clearing itself was created by a bunch of trees dying, getting basically wood rot, and so the whole area around it is a little baked with decay and rot. So it is a little more probably comforting to the Black Spiral dancers, a little off-putting by most guru. But it is definitely not like in the heart of worm country or anything like that. Like it's not a bane infested area. Now banes would probably be more, if there are nearby banes, they'd probably be drawn to it as opposed to other places because it is a little bit more suitable for them.
Are we post rest or are we pre rest right now?
Either or. This is more just like you guys were talking about the clearing and stuff, and this is what you know
I
about it.
assumed we were talking about it like post rest that we were just, but I don't know. I don't know if it matters. Wait, while you asked, so presumably it does matter.
Because I don't know if I'm like tired enough, but I want to see if I can get access to Victor's computer. I gave him one of my USB sticks, which has a version, the same thing that I did to the lovely doctor's computer. So I should be able to get into it. I can roll for it, Jonesy.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a wits and computers check.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is going to be 8.
I will go ahead and spend a point of willpower. Spend few willpower points, please. Okay, there we go. I guess I popped it up in a different window. 1 second. Wits and computers. Victor, what are you doing? I got 3 successes and a 10.
So yeah, so you did go ahead and you connect on over and you get onto whatever device he's using to look at your thumb drive. Now, the device in question is seems to be an old laptop of some sort. Are you checking for? What are you checking for?
There's any information as to why he's in Falkenberg specifically?
He is apparently paranoid because the machine he's on does not have an email tied to it. Has some like Netflix browsing on it, and that's about it. And whatever is on the thumb drive that you've given him.
Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, speaking of, I've got that person's smartphone that was killed. Do we know where he fits into everything else? Is that Victor? Is that the spirals? Or is that the staff?
The doctor who was killed.
Oh yeah, I'm just asking the group in general.
No, we don't. We know nothing about him.
Mm.
Other than that, he's dead, and he was not necessarily. He wasn't always here. He was sometimes here, sometimes gone. He just came by every so often.
And we know that he was kinfolk and not guru.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he was definitely in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, besides that, I got nothing.
So we know that Victor's clever enough to be untrusting of anything that was given to him by a glasswalker.
Very fair. Very fair.
Well, he could very well be a glasswalker as well. in which
Also true.
case No glasswalker would ever put one of Killian's things into their glasswalker toys.
Don't put that in your mouth. You don't know where it's been.
Yeah, Killian. So you do have the phone from the doctor who was killed.
Yeah, we checked it last time. All we know is he had a Barack and OK Cupid, and he had emails back and forth with the doctor.
Yep. So did you want to go out to the clearing beforehand, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, with what Dell told us, I think it probably is as neutral of a location as we could hope them to suggest, but I still want to at least sniff around before the meeting.
Yeah, I would want to have a look around and at the very least peep into the Umbra. Make sure there's nothing bad waiting for us.
Okay. Yeah. So you head out. So you head on out to the clearing area. It's late in the afternoon at this point. You did get some rest beforehand. So you went in the middle of the day. There'd be time for you to go and get some more rest before meeting up with them later this evening. And so as you head out to the forest, Dale kind of leads the area. As you approach, the whole area just kind of gets a little bit more washed out. The colors aren't as vibrant. The trees definitely, the bark and stuff has more of an ash kind of hue to it. And as you approach, the whole area just kind of feels wrong. A lot of the trees are showing signs of rot and decay. And so there's just like a blight that's been kind of affected this area as far as the trees and stuff. The clearing itself is rather large, and you can see where there are small pockets in the ground where basically trees have just fallen over and then eventually got rotted out and then they've been cleared away. Other than that, you don't see any signs of activity, at least recent activity here. Anyone want to give me a wits and investigation check?
I would.
And Dell, you said you're going to look at the.
I'm gonna give it a peek to the Umbra. Yeah.
Okay, so the gauntlet for this area, which is the barrier between the worlds, would be normally a 5. So it's going to be a 7 since you're peeking across. Well,
Oh, okay.
Difficulty is too higher because you're peeking as opposed to actually stepping across.
Right. Let me see if I do.
And Jonesy, what's the difficulty on the wits investigation check?
Wow, that's a whiff.
That's going to be a 6 for you, Darren.
Yeah. Yeah, I had 0 successes. 2
Yeah,
successes, 2 ones. So yeah, it's.
Yeah, apparently the area is just kind of getting you on your little little unnerving for you. You just can't focus enough to look across. The minute you
hackles
start
have
looking,
not yet descended from last night's festivities, so yeah, probably not giving my A game.
they're about to start looking across, and all of a sudden there's a squawk from a crow here and there, and just something and you're just gonna jerk, and can't focus enough to.
I got one success on my look around check though.
Okay, awesome. So as you investigate, you do see that there are some tracks through the area. Not super recent, but relative, recent-ish. Probably last few days ago, maybe a little longer. You also see that there is some faint signs of blood and ash. Would you like to give me a follow-up check?
I sure would.
I'm going to say that would be a wits. Intelligence and rituals check.
Oh boy.
Woo!
What's the difficulty?
I would say for this is a 6 because the amount of information you can get rather limited, but
I do have a dot in rituals. That's wild. One success.
So as you're looking around, you see some stray claw marks into the ground, and you see some ash and some blood. Your best guess is that while this isn't necessarily specifically a place the spirals come to often or use or as part of the any kind of their territory or anything, but it does look like this is a place that they may occasionally use for some rites and rituals because of its the decay attached to this place. It looks like it's been probably a little while since they've used it for anything, but it's not fresh. It's not fresh or anything, but this is definitely some place that they know about, and given its natural inclination towards the side of decay and destruction, it's
Well, that is good to know. But it doesn't look like they have any traps or anything prepared for us, or...
Nope.
Okay. It's not like a noticeable kill zone that they're going to funnel us into.
No.
Okay.
No. At least
But it's
not.
also a place where we're very unlikely to be disturbed by other Guru.
Yeah.
Well,
Suppose that's not entirely a bad thing.
well, yeah. That would explain partly why they chose it, I think.
Ugh.
Well, I'm willing to hang out in the RV until it's time for us to meet.
Okay, so you're able to go back and get some more rest. Was there anything else that you wanted to kind of accomplish during the day? Any supplies? Anything at all?
I mean, the way you're asking that makes me feel like we ought to, but
Well, I'm going to just throw out this. I'm going to assume that Killian's grabbing a backup battery, but
Yeah. And the only other thing that I have left is I can try to access Gretchen's computer. Just plug my USB stick into that before I left her office.
okay. By all means,
That's in computers?
yes.
Get 'em.
Yeah.
Difficulty 8.
Gretchen doesn't even know how Microsoft Word works. Why does it keep moving my picture around? What's this? God, do I know? Okay, there we go. Got 2 successes, so that's great.
Yeah, you're able to get into, because of your back door that you installed there, you're able to get into her system, look around. Yeah, you're able to find some of there's patient records you can get into. You can get into staff records, staff evaluations, like this. Yeah.
This is a lot of information. Hey, Darren, would you like to look at this information?
I would. Don't you know I would?
Because my job is getting it, and your job is sorting it. Isn't that right?
It's the natural order of things.
Here you go, good sir.
Uh,
What's
See-
the peruse the information check?
the you've got mail check is going to be I'm going to say, since you're going to be trying to peruse it and you have a kind of a tight timeline, I'm going to say it's going to be wits and investigation, because you're trying to like kind of quickly piecemeal it together.
Got it.
I believe in you.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is going to be 8.
Here we go.
And kids, this is why you really don't plug in USB sticks you don't know. This is what people do.
I
They
got
will go into your office and just drop it on the ground.
0 successes.
Ugh.
So what you find is a fair amount of information, but nothing out of the ordinary. So you get patient records. You see that the patients are. You can get the profiles of patients. You see that there's been an update to the Carney brothers patient record about the fact there's an amendment to it that they were related to Sam Haight. Find out anything and everything that we can about Samuel Haight.
Hey.
Yeah, that was before Dell showed up. The pack actually had a deal with Sam Haight.
Oh yeah, I know.
I may
Or-
have
As I recall,
I may have run that the origin of Sam Haight for them,
as one does.
and you're able to find, like I said, the various states of the records of the patients. They all seem to be. There seems to be lots of notes scattered about from her, from other doctors that have been added to her files, but she's none of the patients are improving, and she's rather frustrated and flabbergasted by that. The staff reviews are all coming in. The staff is on edge. The staff is stressed because of our patients don't seem to be getting better, things like that. But nothing incriminating jumps out. Nothing out or what you expect out of the ordinary.
The good news is now we know why they're not getting better.
Probably.
And she seems to rely, and based on your personal opinion, she seems to rely a little too much on Victor, given the fact that you all think Victor's shady. He's a shady lord.
The Shade Lord.
But with that, the rest of you can crash, get some sleep, and you're all awake and start prepping about an hour before moonrise, so they can be there at moonrise when they wanted to meet with you.
Beautiful.
Are you going to be leaving the RV over in the national park area where you're hanging out currently? Are you going to take it back to the Valkenburg Foundation and go from the Valkenburg Foundation up to the clearing? What is the plan?
We'll leave the RV not at Valkenburg. We'll leave it here, and then we will go on foot to the meeting. Foot or paw, probably paw.
Definitely so in my case.
Pop, pop, pop.
Paul.
Wait, did we get a sniper set up for the meeting yet?
No, we'll be good.
No one asked Victor.
Nobody asked. Oh, we just learned that Victor's a sniper. We need to hold back there.
Aaron,
Yes.
before we go and meet with them, what happened to my clave?
I think didn't Killian pick it up on the way out?
Yes, I did. I'll take it out of my jacket pocket and give it to you. I was trying to
You can
find the
keep
right
it if you
time
want.
when you wouldn't want to stab me with it.
I'd never stab you with the clave.
Yeah.
That's disrespectful to the clave.
No, you can keep it if you want. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't left behind there.
No. It was 100% me not wanting to be stabbed. You can have it back. a nice neutral environment in Darren's here.
Kennedy just kind of looks at the clave. Darren, do you want it?
It's not hacked, I swear.
don't
No, that's
think
yours. That's your clave, Kennedy.
I don't know that I feel worthy of it right now.
You're still worthy of it.
Yeah.
Rage is what defines us.
Controlling our rage.
You didn't kill me.
Yeah. And you took a hot shower. You cooled off afterwards. That's a pro move. Like right up there with screaming into your pillow.
She'll take it. She did.
Awesome. Awesome. So with that, the pack heads off to the clearing. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun,
Oh no.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh no.
So, the pack arrives at the clearing. As like I said earlier, yeah, it's the whole area. The woods around the clearing area have all have a sense of rot and decay to them. The trees are actually slowly dying. All the green needles tend to have more of a gray, ashen green color to them as opposed to vibrant green. And all of that is amplified even more under the light of the crescent moon that's hanging overhead. As you approach into the clearing, you do have a general sense of dread, which this place just kind of permeates the area based on the rot and decay here, because it is definitely, while it's not corrupted, fully corrupted, it's definitely touched by the worm.
I don't like it.
And as you do, we have a group of spirals walk out from the other edge of the clearing. You see the pack alpha, who looks a little world weary, and just kind of you can see faint scarring all across his chest from claw marks and clave marks here and there.
Oh, it was like, yeah, one of them looks like the guy from Dead or Alive.
So,
Yes.
viewers, you can't see this, but there's actually art for all four of these people,
Oh, yeah.
so that's not terrifying.
So we're in trouble.
No, but it totally looks like. Yeah. What's his name? Pete Best? Was that the guy's name? I forget. Anyway.
So yes, they all have.
Right round like a rubber baby.
Yes. So, as like I said, as they approach out, you see the one. You're assuming based on the way he's standing and the way the others are near him, you see one appears to be the alpha. He's got long hair that goes to the middle of his back. It's very kind of a tight wave pattern, kind of going back. He is shirtless, wearing black leather pants. He said you see the scars all across him from various battles. He's won. I say one because he's still standing. And shortly standing just behind him is your friend, and she is this Iron Candy. With that, he steps forward and kind of looks the four of you over, and settles on Darren.
I'll step forward very surly.
He kind of sniffs at the air a little bit. He's like, "Are you the alpha?"
I speak for the Trail Mix Pack, yes.
and he doesn't seem to scoff at at the name of your pack. Um,
Had to
and
happen sooner or later.
We are chosen of Raccoon, and I know his name isn't Maui, but all I can think is Maui from Moana.
Maherta.
Maherta.
He seems like a little like. You can definitely see a little look of like, huh, on his face, like the fact that he's, huh. I am Rogoth, Alpha of the Insidious Fist Pack. We have a common enemy. They infest that abomination that you call the Valkenburg Foundation.
Who is our enemy?
The Hidden Ones.
And what evidence do you have of the existence of these hidden ones?
For we have seen them.
Not very well hidden, then, aren't they?
You'll understand my skepticism.
I understand. They're a twisted version of a Bane that can hide in plain sight. We have learned their secrets and know how to spot them.
Is this a gift you could teach us?
It is something we can share with you.
Or is this like, is he talking nonsense?
Would you like to make a roll?
I would love to make a roll.
I would like for somebody qualified to make a roll.
Roll.
Yeah.
What roll should I make?
Roll, Raggy.
Kind of guess it's going to be in cult, but
Intelligence and occult.
I have those. Okay.
And if you have a specialty worm lore, you can add that as well. But
I have not, to my knowledge, specialized in bloody anything, so I think I'm just going to do my regular all pool.
Uh,
My dice.
difficulty 8.
Nerds.
I'm going to roll it as well, because I do have that.
Sure.
I have no idea.
Answer hazy. Ask again later.
Yeah.
I need to tell them to get rid of those magic 8 balls.
Yeah, I got two successes. One
Hey.
of which was a 10.
There is there might be a fetish magic 8 ball that actually works.
It probably is.
There is.
Did you actually refer to it as a magic 8 ball?
Yes, it's a.
Very good.
I played a Malkavian who saw the future by reading the bubbles in the magic 8 ball instead of the dice that came up.
So.
Wow, that's interesting.
So with 2 successes, it's possible. You've heard of weirder things, like packs having two totems.
Okay, now that's just crazy talk.
So, I mean, it's within the realms of possibility. Is it something that's true? You don't know. Is it is it something that could be true? Yes.
I think I will kind of tug at Darren's sleeve and inform him of that. Like, yes, apparently that is a thing.
So,
I would want to see this before agreeing to aid you in attacking the Valkenburg Foundation.
we will we wish to hunt these creatures, these banes, for they have betrayed us.
Betrayed you? Does that mean you summoned them into existence?
Sorry, Steve didn't catch that. Did you say did they summon them, or I didn't?
Yeah. So if they were working together, are they
Oh.
responsible for their existence in our world?
Oh no, they betray our kind. Do you not know what they're doing at that foundation?
Well, the what I read on the tin was we were helping Guru with mental health issues.
Not under the guise of the puppeteers. They experiment on our kind, trying to learn the secrets of shifting and the secrets of regeneration to take back to their masters.
And who do you think their masters are?
I think they serve powerful theurges that are not guru. But this does not sit with us. This betrays us. These are ours to own and have, not for them to give away and trade in secrets.
Well, show us these hidden ones, and I will take what you have said under advisement.
Aaron. They've put their cards on the table. It's only fair that we do the same.
We did find a torture chamber in the basement of the Foundation. The Guru were being
We found it
experimented
after your
on.
attack.
So, as he's been talking, he's moved forward a little bit. If I can get on the right layer. He's moved forward a little bit. The others have too, but just a little hair. The other two of the other pack members have also moved forward a little bit, but one of them has definitely kind of been fanning out to the side, and she's kind of not quite, hasn't quite passed her pack alpha, but definitely has swung wide of her pack alpha, as she seems to be trying to approach your pack from the side.
And that's my lady friend, right?
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay. So as I've moved on the map, I'm staying one step behind, but right by Darren. But I'm looking at her the whole time. This whole
And
time.
she's been looking at you the entire time, too.
Okay.
Actually, if you would like to make me a wits and empathy check.
Sure.
Difficulty 6. I'll give you some other details.
Sure. I've actually got ranks in that.
I would hope so, Galliard.
Yeah.
You're the people person.
Well, yeah, but I'm not a high wits character. That is, however, one success with a 10.
You've seen similar behavior on playgrounds for grade school kids. She's trying to get close to the person she's got a crush on without seeming like she's trying to get close to the person she's got a crush on.
Okay. I'm going to regret this so much. I'm going to take just a step to the side towards her. Not moving past Darren, but kind of acknowledging that she's trying to get close to me without without acknowledging it.
Oh, drama. Next on the
Yeah.
CW.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say this is totally a scene from the originals.
So,
Damn it, we got Riverdale, we got Vampire Diaries. What's happening over here?
I'm astonished they have not done a Riverdale Legacies crossover yet.
Oh my lord. If anybody from the CW is listening, don't do that.
Anybody from the CW, you can so do that, and I will happily come and be your test market.
so, so as they continue to go and talk, so, yeah, he seems to be just kind of like, this is what's going on. And the entire time you're getting like he's very much like, this is the point, but there just seems to be something a little off by him, but you don't know if that's just him being a spiral dancer or you're not quite sure. So so you said, you know, you consider, he's like, well, we're offering much here based on, and looks over to his pack mate WtA's insistence. We know of the hunting of the we seek to hunt those puppeteers, and she seems to think that you also wish to make them pay for their crimes against us, against the Guru, no matter the tribe.
Well, if anyone is experimenting on our kind, and for whatever reason, I cannot abide that.
We
We can-
definitely seem to have an enemy in common.
We can teach you how to see these creatures, but on a condition.
What's your condition?
We get to help hunt them.
How do you feel about riding in an RV?
There's another condition that has to be made. If there are creatures experimenting on Guru and doing horrible things, and you can show us how to tell who they are, we can hunt them together. But we need your word that no one else dies, or our accord is broken.
Was it Kennedy?
I understand that we're not on the same side and you regard the place as an abomination, and that's a battle we can have another day.
If they fall under the sway of these Banes,
If they're being controlled by these puppeteers, that's one thing. If they're not, and you've shown us how to tell who is and who isn't, then the ones who are not are untouched.
There are innocents. There are innocents inside that place. Leave them as innocents. That's what I ask.
we will do what we can, but if they fall under the sway of the puppeteers,
Yes.
Understood.
and with that, he will take a step forward to you, Darren,
I'll step forward to him.
and he will slowly reach for a knife at his side. in a cord bound in blood, and will pull the knife out and slice the palm of his hand.
And a cord made in blood, and I'll slice my hand open. I'll take his.
With that, he clasps your hand, and with that, the other three black spot dancers proceed to howl. It's a howl of the hunt. And with that,
We'll join in.
We'll want to join in on that. Then.
awesome. And with that, we will take our break.
Perfect. All right, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.